I talk to leaders all the time about emotional intelligence. It's, of course, a big buzzword in the last many years as we think about leadership development. But one of the things that people struggle with is that, one, they're trying to get the concept of emotional intelligence. Then they're trying to really shift to, well, what does it actually look like for me to build this? So, the best place to start, once you've understood that emotional intelligence really has four key areas, and that's self awareness, self management, social awareness, and then relationship management. Okay, so we have those one, two, three, and four. Is to start getting curious. And the easiest place to start, or maybe the hardest place to start, is yourself. So start paying attention to what happens to you in terms of your ability to communicate, your ability to read your emotions, your ability to respond to different things that are coming up, whether they're conflict or just a change or a transition. Start recognizing what's happening with you. And so what you'll end up being able to do is you'll see patterns and you'll say, wow, when this big change happens, I get triggered. Or when there's an individual that I'm meeting with, all of a sudden my emotions really start coming up. And that could be really positive and engaged. That could be really frustrated or annoyed, or you might be embarrassed, or you might be angry, whatever the emotion might be. Start paying attention. So that's really step one, is get curious, start to understand what's making you tick. Then, what's interesting about this is that your whole mindset shifts around your own awareness of self because you're curious, you're interested, you're like, wow, that's fascinating. I wonder why I'm responding that way. And then you can start to say, oh, it's about to happen. I know this is coming. So once you're curious, then you're able to be in a place where you can start to make choices of how you want to respond, which is really the most critical step too. And that is that piece that's, of course, around self-management is, all right, this emotion is happening. This trigger is happening. I'm feeling this way. I'm responding this way. I'm wanting to do this, but I've had enough time to become aware of it that now I can make a choice of how do I actually want to respond to this situation. It really gives you this moment of the stimulus before that response comes in. It's this moment of choice. And so that's what you're after. That's your goal. Once you get really good in these spaces, of course, you can start getting curious about those around you. You can start thinking about how to ask questions to help them and you manage the situation differently. But don't get too complex and caught up in that. Really, the first piece is to get curious about yourself and start being aware of patterns.